Okay. Good morning, committee members and other parties of interest. This evaluation committee meeting and possible scoring for requests for proposals RFP-25-00242 for property casualty and builders risk insurance consulting and brokerage services for our risk management department is being held by means of communications media technology. Provisions have been made for members of the public desiring to have access to view the meeting. Public attendees, if you could please remain on mute and turn your cameras off. And then for the record, this meeting is being recorded. The recording will be made available as soon as possible after the meeting has ended. Something's not happening here. So sorry. I'm trying to make sure we're not missing something. I just want to make sure it is recording. It's just wasn't showing me. Okay, sorry about that. Please be advised that our cone of silence is still in effect and shall end the earlier of 5 business days after the county posts its notice of intent to award on the contracts associated with this solicitation or on the date the procurement solicitation is canceled by the county. So all questions, comments, and concerns must be directed to my attention and my attention only. As a matter of housekeeping for any technical advisors or project observers that we have in attendance, whether it's with in person or via communication media technology, you are here for support and you can take questions as needed. And anyone online, if you could please remain on mute as well. But if you called in, please do not put the call on hold. And at this time, I'll go ahead and ask each member of the committee to introduce themselves for the record. And for the record for me, my name is Sakina Ford. I am the chief buyer for the project. And again, we are recording this meeting and it has been publicly noticed. So we'll start on the side over here.
Okay, Randy Sears, Hillsborough County Water Resources.
Brenda Cockdale, Director of Risk Management and Safety, Hillsborough County.
Pamela Teal, Claims Manager, Risk Management, Hillsborough County.
Cindy Shukla, Human Resources, Fiscal Manager.
Terry Arias, Human Resources, Workers' Comp and Lead Manager.
Okay, great. So what we're going to do is have the committee score and review. For the record, we did receive a total of 7 proposals from Alliant Insurance Services, Inc., Southeastern Series of Lockton, Inc., Risk Management Associates, Inc., Solate LLC, that's a DBA Retail Employee Insurance Company, M&H Insurance Solutions Corp., Arthur J. Gallagher Risk Management Services LLC, and Marcia McLean Agency LLC. Please note that after initial review of the submissions for responsiveness and deviations, the responses from Solate LLC, M&H Insurance Solutions Corp., and Arthur J. Gallagher Risk Management Services have been deemed unacceptable and letters were sent to properly notify these firms. The committee is going to evaluate, discuss, and score by consensus the 4 remaining responses submitted for this RFP. Each proposal is evaluated based on the information in the proposal response as it correlates to the requirements and the evaluation criteria set forth in the solicitation document. The responses will be scored based on the following criteria. Number 1 is proposer's organization and staff experience in providing insurance consulting and brokerage services for a maximum of 35 points. Number 2, proposer's organization qualifications for a maximum of 25 points. Number 3 is the proposer's understanding of the scope and objectives of marketing and technical approach, methodology, and work plan presented for a total of 25 points. Once those scores have been recorded, we will also provide scoring for the net proposal price, which was a maximum of 15 points, and the DMDWDE bonus points for the firms that submitted. If the committee does want to hear from any of the technical advisors, please go ahead and unmute when you're asked any questions. And if you have anything you need to add, please let us know that so that can be discussed within each of those categories. So our chairperson is Brenda Cogdale, and she's going to lead the discussions for the evaluation scoring on those first 3 criteria for the 4 remaining proposals. After you've discussed each category, just please state the final consensus scoring agreed upon, and I'll record that in the spreadsheet. At the conclusion of the scoring, I will follow up with the other two scores and provide a final scoring total. With that said, I'm going to hand this off to Brenda and let her get started with the discussions.
Okay, good morning, everyone, again. All right, why don't we start with Alliance, since that's the first one here. So let me start by saying everybody who submitted is well qualified to actually do the work. I know somebody on each one of the teams, know the lead on each one, and they're all extremely competent. So every agency is well qualified to do the work. So it's kind of what's the best fit for us. And I started out looking really deeply at the ancillary services that are provided, because I think everybody can market the program and give us a good result. I like it. So for Alliance, I had a few notes. They do a property symposium where they give you a chance to meet with the underwriters, which I thought was what's really impressive. The chance for us to kind of sell our own story, which is really good, rather than having the broker gather all the information and tell our story for us. They've got a local Tampa office over at Rocky Point, which is a plus. With everything being virtual, you don't necessarily need somebody who is here, but it certainly is advantageous if they are. Alliance got some large clients, but there's still not a large presence in Florida. The clients they do have certainly have weather-related events that are certainly comparable to the hurricane issues that we experience. So not a large Florida presence, but I thought their cyber program looked really good. We have a really good cyber program internally. Probably could be enhanced, but we got a good program internally, so I'm not really overly. It looked good, but it had a good transition strategy. Anybody else have any comments?
One thing that you didn't mention that I did have, I thought the portal seemed a lot more, you know, yeah, robust than the other ones. I also saw that, if I read it correctly, was that they could also house out property data, which I thought was great.
Hello, yeah.
That kind of stood out to me, you know, that they could have our property data, they could be maintained in one place, or everything's in one place. Now, I know you mentioned about being able to meet the underwriters. So are we just gonna discuss everything for the one right now? I know some of the other ones also have.
Yeah, some of the other ones also had that as well. So,
So just-
and however you guys want to have that discussion, that's fine. Just kind of run through the benefits of or the other concerns, benefits and concerns of each one, and then we're kind of like.
Right.
Yeah.
Typically, you would do the one vendor down the line. That way you're comparing them to the criteria and then move on to the next one and compare them to the criteria. So, yeah.
That Apollo, that asset management program actually falls in line with something that I'm working with internal audit on, because we have been struggling with asset management and using the clerk's portfolio and so forth. So that is something that falls in line with something we're working on.
We have a quick second, Ben. I'm just gonna say you've got to speak up just a little bit when you're talking.
Okay.
Thanks.
I am just going through my notes to see if there was anything else I had that Brenda didn't. And I think Brenda covered most of this, you know, all the stuff that I had, just that one point of the database. Yeah. Their team definitely more than qualified, they're a large organization. Yeah, their department's available 24/7. They do have, out of all of them, they do have 300 public sector employees, which is very large. I thought, you know, so that sounds benefits.
Anybody else?
I appreciate, I'm always looking into the hurricane coverage. That's like, how familiar are they with it? Can they handle the volume?
Right.
Because I know that's biggie for us, so I appreciate that part.
Pricing. It looks like they got a price escalation in where it's going up some percentage every year. Which I'm gonna. Okay, go on to Marsh.
You're gonna go ahead and score them as a consensus.
Second, we discuss.
This that we're discussing
If we can-
first.
Yeah, if someone has something that maybe one of us missed, and then we consider it.
Can we be all four and then score them?
Yeah, just making sure you're reviewing each one in comparison to the criteria, not to each other. You just need to be very mindful of that when you're looking at your scoring.
All right, Marsh. I like that they do contract review, that's a standard part of their offering. It's a lot of work in our department, the contract review. Some of them are certainly beyond the scope of what I know, but so that ability to be able to push that out and that is automatically included it's really good. Thought they had kind of a rather limited tech and resources at March, at least from what I can see. They do work comp and NCCI assistance, and I thought that was really cool because I know Terry that. Yeah, I know that coding these jobs gets to be challenging, so I really like that. They all have their own learning system. Yeah, the group has their own learning system for safety training, which is nice. They also do the underwriter meetings, but I couldn't quite get the detail as to how that is facilitated. They got a fairly large claim staff as well. One of the things that I found most interesting was their off-site work solutions for light duty. Did you see that, Jerry?
Yeah, trying to figure out how that program would end up.
Yeah, we need some more detail, but I thought, well, that's interesting. They do, they'll take our people for modified duty and place them at a nonprofit. So, yeah, so at least they're still working and,
Yeah,
wow.
yes, no, we've looked into that before, and some people have contacted us before. I mean, usually we're paying for them, so we can place them. We have a good return to work, so we place them within somewhere else in the department. In the other departments, like water resources, we end up putting that resources and so since we're paying.
So it might not be something they would utilize, but it's
Yes,
it's an interesting to have it available. Anyway,
That's exactly it.
other thoughts?
The other piece I had was on the FEMA assistant. It didn't seem like it was as comprehensive. It did say that they would, kind of like they would assist. But I didn't get from their proposal that it was really in-depth, that they would believe it would help, like what we're looking for to get that FEMA assistance.
Yeah, the detail didn't,
So-
the detail was not there.
Oh, the other thing I did notice on them, I'm sorry, was that, did you know, on the netting of the commission and pricing? It seems like on one of them, on page 40, they did not agree to the netting. And I know there's one portion of it where by law we can, but then the other portion, they said that it was,
We don't have to.
yeah, kind of, so that kind of.
And perhaps they don't, but, okay. Okay, so their pricing is $67K annually. All right, any other comments on Marsh? Okay, Risk Management Associates. And they are the incumbent, as everybody always knows. they're doing a really good job. I am in no way dissatisfied with them. They're Florida based. They got probably most of the cities and counties here in Florida, so the experience there is excellent. Everybody, I haven't had an issue with them having everybody and stuff happening and them not being able to respond. You know, anything is possible. But I have had no issue with them not being responsive just because we got claims in Naples, claims in Sarasota, claims in Tallahassee, they've still been very responsive. They indicate they've got an insured asset management schedule, program. It might be new, but we're not currently using it, so I'm guessing it's something new to them. Their references were excellent.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. They got a dedicated property adjuster assigned to us, which is such a great resource. It really is. Again, back to the reference, our Risk Star property management software. Again, it must be something new to them because I have not seen it, but it is something that we need. Again, it's aligning with what I'm trying to work with internal audit on, of trying to make sure that all of our properties are insured, or at least we know where they are, and in one big block, as opposed to having to deal with the clerk's portfolio. Other comments on this management associates?
I did like that they have 20% owned by employees. I think that helped with the employee morale, and stuff like that, right? They also provided possible savings. I think another one did as well, but they also did that, if we couldn't move on. And this dog, which you mentioned today, I think. Cross-trained. But was available. Like a weird, I don't know what he was, there was a type on the proposal. Like, for me, when looking at that detail, I think it's so important, especially when we're looking at these large spreadsheets with the property and stuff. And if something is a duplicate, I expect that they will catch it before I do it, but out there, so that was one of my things from last year, you know, and. You know, just that's a message when. The type on the.
Okay, I get it. I get it. Okay, other comments?
Nowhere near the degree of Brenda or Pamela, but I've dealt with them and been very happy with their work fast.
Yeah, they definitely have been responsive, like,
Responsive.
whenever we have issues, they were, yeah, really responsive, so
Yeah.
definitely no problems there.
Like on the workers' comp side. I mean, they'll assign you a safety and risk consultant. It's good, but then they have the mental health and PTSD in the workplace programs and the workplace ergonomics, which we do handle internally, but it's nice to.
But it's nice to know that we have an external resource for
So
that.
training the topics and all of that. And then, you know, they say they'll analyze, obtain and analyze and monitor the workers' compensation reports. So they can assist with the workers' compensation.
And from that perspective, I mean, being Florida, we've got some specific Florida issues,
Absolutely.
so,
You got the PTSD.
yeah, they're well versed, but it's.
Yeah.
Pricing was, I think,
It's 65.
65.
Yes. 65.
Right. Watson. Okay, that proposal was so thorough. But, okay. They've got a lot of cats. They are huge. Locally, they have the sheriff, although I'm a little bit confused, because a lot of sheriff's properties are on our schedule. So, but,
Yeah. They're on, yeah.
but, you know, they've got a lot of companies. I liked their approach in that they're looking for creative ways not to buy insurance. It's like, insurance is like the last resort. Let's look at other ways you can self-insure, mitigate, and then,
Yes.
so I like that creative thinking approach. They got a capital modeling program that looked really good. They got an in-house builder's risk program, which Randy and I could so appreciate. And they've got some really good specific utility experience that I thought was extremely valuable. Also a dedicated adjuster team. And there's somebody that will do the cost allocation,
Yes, I saw that.
which has been a struggle for us, and that we're paying for outside of the program, so we can cut that cost. That would be huge. They've got this net cert for creating COIs. I'm gonna need a little bit more detail on that, but again, that's something that we are doing a lot of manual labor on and still trying to get it right, even with the in-house system that we built. It's still highly manual. The auto key insurance cards that they say you can just pull from it. So I was like, but I'm not sure how that works with our self-insured card. Will they take our card and upload it and they can just, here's mobile? Because I do get a lot of calls going, where's the insurance card? I ain't finding it. Can you email it? So, and they also do the ergonomic software program, which I think maybe Tom Johnson and John Holland and safety would absolutely appreciate. So, again, very thorough proposal. Other thoughts on Lockton?
I think this one, just knowing from before with your certificates for somebody has to input that now where they have the ability to do your certificates, where they can let you know when they're going to be expiring. And then you can enter it, and so they kind of keep that on track for you. So I just know back in the day when Charlene was here, that was a major, Dory's.
Yes, it's still, we got it a little bit better via on base. We got it a little bit better, but if we could, we're still working every day trying to make it better. So that's a huge value, because that's somebody's part-time job. You know, they have other stuff to do, and that's like a full part-time job of trying to manage that program. And
The ID cards.
that one. 175. Anybody guesses? Any other thoughts on Lockton?
And you guys won't be scoring the pricing, just so you're aware. It's already scored by the systems.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that.
They did review hours and they say that we have a potential of 20% savings on property based on their pre-review. They looked at our stuff. Again, that home employee thing I think is important. They said it's a 27% retention ratio.
And they're local, like we say, they have a huge local presence.
So they don't own any third parties. I think that's a good and bad. But if
Thank
I have a quick question, actually, it's could be for Brenda. How do they come up with a possible 20% savings? They compare, I mean, obviously, or what they
I think
do?
they're probably looking at, probably go to self-insurance rotations and looking at our risk appetite. Yeah, looking at our structuring.
Okay, that's just curious.
Well, that varies, right, depending on what they're gonna adjust to get to that. So to get to that, if we're gonna increase our deductibles and all that stuff, then is that really gonna become that? Right? So,
I got you. Curious.
It's a big number, but
It's a big number.
how we get to that would be another. Okay, so I think we are probably close to consensus scoring.
Okay, so you're gonna go back through each of the proposers. We can, find an agreement on each of those criteria, the first three criteria.
Okay, organizational staff qualifications, scope, and marketing. That's,
Yes, the organization and staff experience, their qualifications is number 2, and the understanding of the scope, objectives, marketing approach, all of that is 3.
could you give me those scores again, please? The
The maximums,
Yeah.
Category 1 is a maximum of 35. Category 2 is a maximum of 25. And category 3, a maximum of 25.
Okay.
Back through and start with Alliance again.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just rereading my notes.
And 7 questions. So for all of the other ancillary things that they can provide, like we're talking safety, workers' comp, that would go into 3, not 1. Because basically it's organizational staff experience providing consulting services, would it go to 1 or would it go?
Well, you're evaluating each of these categories based
Yeah.
on the scope of what we put in the solicitation. So not necessarily any add-in items, but just in general, their abilities and approach for meeting the requirements of the RFP. So do we have somebody that's called in on number 469-203-7759?
Yes.
If you have the means to mute your microphone, that would be helpful.
Okay.
Alliance has a large staff, it's still not a very strong presence in Florida. But extremely talented. So as far as organizational staff, they got that office right there on Rocky Point. A lot of the leadership is in North Carolina, but still extremely qualified, large staff. Somewhere between 30 and 32.
Yeah. Make sure you're speaking up because we are having a hard time catching it on the recording.
I actually had 30, but.
Okay. 31.
That was good.
Let's see, qualifications.
if you're all qualified, I really,
Yeah,
qualifications, like almost like they're all 25 across the board.
yeah, they're all qualified, they all meet, at least, yeah. Okay,
So for qualifications,
25. Scope and marketing. Really like that, asset software management. Really like that CFI management. They offered a good transition strategy, I thought.
I could go at 22, I had 23 down, I could do 22.
22. Okay. Gosh.
Back to their organization
Yeah.
and staff experience.
Go ahead. That's right.
Okay, they had, most of them were in Texas, right? I don't have to know here, did they, someone in Tampa too?
They have a, there's a local office.
You handle city.
Yeah, they have city of Tampa, but that's nothing comparable to us.
No, but did they have any staff members here? That would be that.
The one, the lead purchase is here. But again, you're right, a lot in. In terms of your, typo thing, I didn't think it was as sharp as,
The detail,
yeah,
yeah, I think that in.
yeah, I didn't think the detail was as sharp. So,
Assistant vice president, which is the team.
Yeah, they've done one.
You know, it seems to be, it's excellent.
let's see.
I had to get. There.
There's a-
Because of-
Yeah.
Say, and then
No, I was looking at like the contract piece, I thought was good, the contract review, but that's not part of this category, so I'm just trying to see. What the, you guys go in that ballpark, I guess I could go down to.
That's
They
good.
were, from an experience standpoint, the only thing that if I was hesitating about one of the pieces, I mean, the team definitely, right? But overall, they were around the longest, so they do have a lot of experience overall as an agency.
That they were McGriff and then they were,
And then they changed that, yeah, that's true, too, yes.
so it's all combined, they were McGriff and that's what I was, yeah, for that, it was Frulis, and
Yeah, that's true.
but as a totality, yes, they got a lot of experience.
Yeah, I could go with 28.
Yeah, it is. Qualifications, we agreed that everybody was minimally qualified 25. Okay, scope. I got a few points where it says lacks detail, right? Okay,
And in the scope, that's very important.
yes.
I mean, that's concerned there.
Yeah.
20.
And then in the brief, I'll try to all about, you know. And the finger piece wasn't clear to me.
That might be, you know, that kind of, and some key points, lack detail.
So 20.
17.
Okay, where are you ranking?
I was 20, I was at 20, but
19. That's it.
Yeah. so
It's really good that at least we all kind of were on the same page in terms of
yeah.
what we're looking for.
I think it helps.
Okay. Risk management associates. Huge floor presence, large staff. Smaller staff than some of the others, but.
So yeah, that will be handling your account. That's the experience.
We lead on our account, it's currently, yeah, and his assistant associate level, you know.
They have a lot of entities. And more business.
Yeah, have a lot of door business.
I had them school sort of organization, I had them score 34. And that's just,
I was 33, so. What do you think that? Yeah.
34.
yeah. So I was hearing the mental health and the other, what was it? So you guys, the program, they,
Yeah, they were gonna help with the training,
yeah,
some of the trainings in ergonomics and
I was just thinking that was extremely,
the PTSD.
Yeah.
Which is what we're.
Got our big Florida issues.
Yes.
I just thought that was extremely helpful
Okay.
to our organization.
The. And the other thing with restart system says it's working.
Yeah. That was very good, asset management.
On their portals. They're in the comments, so it's just with their portals and everything. So
I have not actually used their portal, but I'm able to grab a phone and they are. But, the asset management piece of it is gonna have to happen. They say they have it.
Yeah, I like everything about them. I do think they're capable and can do the stuff. The part that why I cannot give them a 25 is because, like I said, the typo and just that, I think is important from my side of things. So I would say 23 go with. If that's something.
I'm going with 23. Rolling right along. Lawton. Huge staff. Wealth of experience there. The lead account manager, Chip Storm, I've known for a number of years, extremely knowledgeable, familiar with the area,
Familiar with Hillsborough County?
familiar with his work. I've had to reach out to Lawton on help on some other projects, and they have been phenomenal. So,
And I must say, from my standpoint, I love the utility experience.
the utility experience,
You know, when-
it's,
Sometimes when you're talking to folks that have no, it's like starting from scratch, and that's difficult.
I think they're all local, but there are quite a few, there's a large presence.
It's not all of their employees that will be assigned to us in Warren. For most,
Most
the
of it,
majority of them will.
I have a 34 from home.
Anybody else?
But it,
The offices.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
Oh.
That's trying to be quick. Yeah, that's good. We looked for the local.
I know one of them.
Thirty-three, 34 range.
They have to say 33, 34.
Carry.
Good. At 34. 34.
Okay. Enrollment, 34, 34. Qualifications, 25. Scope.
Easy, that's what I'm.
There's a lot in there. It's a lot, for evaluation of that.
Yeah, certificate like that, it might be a certificate where you can access to the.
And that utility experience, the dedicated to trust the team, the cost allocation. Yeah, about it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit.
Yes, those safety programs. Assessment.
Do the others? You only have ergonomics programs or processes? It's a big issue about apartment.
Keep it.
Yeah. What Gary does.
We do have an online safety modules too. As you get through.
Yeah.
Midwest, it gets Midwest. and stuff.
Plan limit 22-23 range.
I'd say 23, so it's.
Now that you guys have discussed and done the consensus scoring for those first three criteria, I'm gonna go ahead and confirm what I heard from everyone. So first off, on Alliant Insurance Services, for category one, the organization and staff experience was 31. Their qualifications, category two was 25. Then proposers understanding of the scope, objectives, methodology was 22. Everybody in agreement with that? That came for a total of 78 points for the first three categories. Then for Marsh and McLean, for category one, the experience in consulting services, I have a 28. For category two, on the qualifications, a 25. For category three, their understanding of the scope and objectives, marketing and methodology was a 22. Everybody in agreement on those?
That's 19.
I had 19.
19.
You had 19 on what?
Scope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize. Thank you for making sure that I stay on target. I had my fingers in the wrong place when I plugged it in there because I had it right on the sheet, but there you go. Okay, so 28, 25, and then 19. Gotcha. Okay, for a total score of 72. And then we've got risk management. Associates. For category one, the organization and staff experience was 33. For category two, the qualifications was a 25. And for category three, the proposer's understanding and scope and objectives and the technical approach and methodology, I had a 23. Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
For a total score of 81. And then the last discussed was the Southeastern series of Lockton. For category one, the organization and staff experience, I had a 34. For category two, the qualifications of 25. For category three, the understanding of the scope, objectives, marketing, and technical approach of 23. Everybody in agreement on that? Okay, and that total score was 82. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add in the scoring based on the net proposal pricing and also the DMDWBE. So for Alliant, their net proposal pricing score came to a 1.86. They did not request bonus points. Or remember, did they? Yeah. They have a 0 for bonus points on the DMDWBE. So their total score is 79.86. For Marsh and McLean Agency LLC, the proposal pricing score was a 14.4. They did earn 5 bonus points for the DMDWBE for a total score of 91.4. Risk Management and Associates. The net proposal pricing score was a 15. The DMDWBE bonus points was 0 for a total score of 96. Then Southeast Series of Lockton Inc. Net proposal pricing score of 5.57. No bonus points were received for the DMDWBE for a total score of 87.57. Everyone agree with the final tallies and the scoring? All right, anyone have any other questions or concerns at this point from the committee? Okay, so I will ask the committee to hold on here for just a couple minutes after we end the meeting. I will print out the final consensus scoring sheet with all those totals on it and have you guys sign it before you leave. And then Brenda, as the chair, will have the responsibility of preparing the executive summary for the committee meeting today, and we will continue to move on from there. I'm going to go ahead at this point and consider this meeting completed, and we will get the recording out as soon as possible. And the complete spreadsheet and scoring and consensus and all those things will also be posted to the site as we go through the rest of the process. So thank you everyone for attending, and we are closing out this meeting.